Hi, my name is Delmarshae Walker. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is doing great today. I just want to come on here to say that, as Christians, there is a line that is drawn. It's either you're on God's side or you're on the world's side. And I think some people think they can walk the middle, but you can't. There's only two sides. There's no in between. You're either on God's side or you're on the world side. The choice is up to you what side you want to be on, but you can't be saying I'm on God's side and then the Bible strictly tell you what you should and should not do. But in order to please the world, you're going to have to go against what the Bible says. So that's why you can't be in the middle. You either going to make God happy or you're going to make the world happy. You're either going to be serving God or you're going to be serving the world. And so I just want to kind of talk about myself for a minute as far as the environment I grew up in. I kind of spoke about it before in other videos, and we never went to church as a family. The only time I truly remember going to church as a family is when my grandmother died. That's my father's mother. And we went to church as a family for her funeral. That was it. But when I remember when I was like 5 years old, well, when my grandmother died, she was a teenager. So that's the only time, well, I'm sorry, I was a teenager. And that's the only time that we went to church as a family. But I do remember when I was like around 5 years old, my mother sent us to Sunday school. A church bus would come, pick myself and my brothers up, and take us to Sunday school. And that's when I basically started my relationship with God. And with any relationship, it's based on when you start, how much you gradually start getting to know God and to really get in deep in a relationship with Him. So growing up in the household, I would see my mother and father. They had Bibles. They would read their Bibles and everything like that. And then my dad would watch preachers that came on TV. And so sometimes I would be in there watching it with him. But at the same time, my mother had tarot cards. If I have a picture, I will put it in here. The tarot cards that my mom used. So she learned how to read tarot cards. And so she would read them for herself to my dad. She would read them to me and anyone else that wanted her to read the tarot card. She would do it. She never did it as far as a business. She would just do it for anyone that wanted to get a reading from her. And then also they would go to, I guess you would call them psychics or whatever, but it was these people. And the people that they would go to, they would say, that they're working with God and God put them in place. God sent them to help people out, and what they're doing, even though they was doing psychic readings and different things like that, they did it under the premise that they was doing it for God. And then it was certain things they would say, okay, take this, do this, certain rituals, and they would say this will bless you, this will protect you, here, carry this with you, no harm will come to you. Different things like that, not anything evil, but just more or less to protect you and to protect your energy. And then also grew up reading the horoscopes and different things like that, because I myself even had psychic readings from those people and everything like that, as well as being in a relationship with God and loving God. But as my relationship grew, when I started getting older and I really started reading the Bible for myself and trying, because I'm the type of person, I desire to know more. I'm not just happy with what I'm hearing, when I know that sometimes things are not adding up or things don't make sense, or is there more out there that I need to know or need to understand? So that's how it was with my relationship with God. I wasn't just happy with the understanding I had. I wanted more. And the more I searched, the more I found out that everything that my parents was doing when it came to psych is because they also love God, but they also delved into this other world. The Bible says don't do that. And so when I found that out, I was telling my mom, I don't want, because sometimes even if I didn't read the horoscope, she would tell me, oh, let me tell you what your horoscope said. And I'm listening. So I told her, look, I'm not reading the horoscopes anymore. I don't, want you to tell me what they said. I don't want to get a psychic reading from you. And if somebody give you something, oh, this is supposed to protect your daughter, I don't want it because it goes against what God is saying. And then I also show her in the Bible, so it wasn't just me saying this to her, I'm showing this in the Bible. And then sometimes you'll see TV programs where these people saying they're talking to the dead, like a person might have just lost a loved one, and they're like, oh, I'm going to a psychic because I need to hear from my mother, my father, my uncle, my cousin, my sister, my brother, whoever their loved one is. But in the Bible it says the dead knows nothing. So if the dead knows nothing and this person telling you, either they're straight up scamming you and just taking your money based on your emotions and your feelings, or they are hearing from someone but it's not the dead person. They are hearing from someone but it's not God. They're hearing from a demon. They're hearing from the devil, which is also in the Bible. It shows you in the Bible that the devil will, get in people and people make money off them, saying that they, have psychic powers. The devil will help you out if you're looking for something, if you lost something, if you need guidance. In the beginning, he's going to be helpful. That's how you get drawn into that world. That's how you get drawn. Because if he show himself who he is in the beginning, unless you're crazy, you're not going to follow him. So when you start getting drawn in with these psychic readings, these psychic people, and these people that say they could talk to the dead or talk to spirits or whatever, you're getting drawn into that. And then once you're in deep enough, then you start seeing things turn the other way. You're not getting the help you thought you was going to be getting, or it's a bunch of confusion going on. They're telling you, hey, this person is doing this or that, or I see this or I see that, but they can't tell you what they see or who you see. Now you're walking around suspicious of everybody around you because they're saying, oh, someone is out to get you, but you don't know who that someone is. So you got to eye out for everyone. And God doesn't come with confusion. God doesn't confuse you. God don't want you stressed out over something, because he constantly tell you, don't worry. He's constantly telling you, have faith. He's constantly telling you to enjoy yourself, to enjoy life, to be joyful. He's constantly telling you to go out, help other people, and spread love. So if you're sitting back confused, dazed, wondering what's going on, who's after you, who's going to attack you, then you know that's not from God. So as Christians, we can't delve in both worlds. We have to choose. I see some Christians walking around using sage. Why turn to a creation, but you don't want to put all your faith in the creator? Everything that you can pick up in this world was created by God. So if I'm going to go to somebody, I don't want to go to the creation. I want to go to the creator. Because if the creator got powers to make a creation that's supposed to protect me, don't you think the power that he got is stronger than whatever you think that's whatever is in the world? He could protect me better than anything out here in this world can protect me against. And that's the thing we need to realize and understand as followers of Christ, as children of God, that he is the Alpha and Omega. He is the King of Kings. He knows things that we will never know. And there's a lot of things that you may have came up against you that never did. And God protected you from that. So you can't really say, well, God, thank you for stopping this from happening to me, because he stopped it before it ever happened to you. So you don't even know how many times that your life may have been in danger that God intervened. You don't know how many times something bad may have happened to you where God intervened. So that's why every day you get up, you need to be grateful and thankful and just depend on him and not the things of this world and not the people in this world who saying, hey, I can protect you. They can never protect you as good as God can. They can never stop anything from happening the way God can. So as Christians, there is a line drawn in the sand. The last thing, I'm saying this out of love, because the last thing I would hate to see is for you to say, Lord, Lord, and have Jesus say, I don't know you. The last thing I would hate is for Jesus Jesus said, if you deny me to the world, I would deny you to your Father. And so when you're making decisions and your decisions don't line up with the Bible, you're making the wrong decision. Always, do I believe what God say or do I believe what man say? And if what man say contradicts what God say, somebody's lying. Either God's lying or that person's lying. And God say he is a man, so he cannot lie. So if God's saying he cannot lie, these are his words, and his words preceded whatever that person is saying. So God's telling you to watch out for this stuff before these people even was born. So he's telling you what's happening in this world, what's going to happen, what's happening in this world before half of these people was even born, to tell you something different, but you put more faith in them than you put in God. You have to have, it's like all or nothing. Not perfect, because there's no such thing as being a perfect follower of Christ, being a perfect follower of God, but you have to be dedicated to who he is. You have to be committed to your relationship with him. You can't be wavering. You can't have that wavering faith. You have to be all in, or you're not choosing him. You can't be borderline. There's no such thing as a borderline faith. There's either you're faithful in God or you're not. Because if you're putting your faith in God, why are you turning to something else or someone else to do what God already said he's going to do for you? So as Christians, we need to be mindful that we cannot fall prey to what is offered to us in the world. And then the other thing that I just want to say real quick is that people that are telling Kanye they need to sit down and shut up and this, that, and the other, I don't understand why you're so vexed about what Kanye is doing. Kanye is an individual. If you don't like what Kanye is doing, stop looking. It's so simple. I'm sorry, Ye. Keep calling Kanye. I'm going to get it right. What Ye is doing, just stop looking. It's that simple. But why tell this man to stop? God never tell us to bow down to the world. He tell us to stand up to the world. This man has an issue. Why would he ever bow down to something or someone that's evil? When you did all you can do, stand. God never tell us to sit, fold our hands. He want us to go out in the world against all odds. Every time you read the Bible, it's not an equal playing field. It's always more of them and less of God's people out there fighting. We're always persecuted, whether it's actual physical persecution or verbal persecution. But we always taught, regardless of how people treat us, show love. Even when Jesus was hanging on the cross, he's still asking his Father to forgive them because they know not what to do. We're acting in love, but people keep telling us to sit down and shut up. Why? Why not tell the people who's doing the wrong to sit down and shut up? Why not say to them, hey, that's wrong what you're doing to this man. Why don't y'all sit down and shut up? But you want to tell him to do that? Why? That's the part that gets me. All this evil that goes on in the world, people like this, they don't say nothing. Children molested, where they're, I don't see them on the soapbox speaking about that. People getting killed out in the street, I don't see them on standing on the soapbox talking about that. But a man voicing his opinion on how he feels that he's been mistreated by industry that has a history of mistreating Black people, and it's a problem? Sit down and shut up? Like I said, there's a line. You either for or against. And don't act like you're for when you know you're against. And that's why I say it's very important to be mindful of how people do and what people say. Because like I said, if you know what God say and they're saying something contradictory to what God say, you already know what side of the line they're on. There's no both. There's one or none. And so just be mindful of how people, because this is the way I feel. I watched that documentary on Netflix with Kanye, with Ye. And the same person I seen when he was younger and he was just coming up in the industry, that's the same person I see now. I don't see no different. Everybody keeps saying, oh, he's changed, he's different. I don't see the difference. You know why I don't see the difference? Because I see the man. Everyone else that's saying he's different, that's because he don't make you feel like he used to make you feel. So you never seen the man. You was excited about the feeling you got because of that man. You didn't respect or love the man. You loved the feeling. And then the other people, they didn't truly love him. They loved the money he made for him. Now that's why it's a problem. But he's the same person. I was never a fangirl. I always seen the man. And I respected the man. But everyone else, it was either the feeling that he gave you that you're no longer getting from him, so now he's a problem. Or it's the money you was making from him that you're no longer making, so now he's a problem. But he's the same person. He didn't change. Y'all did. Peace.